सो हो ये गया है कि लोगों के पास पैसा बहुत आ गया है।
वो भी है।
और काम कुछ नहीं है। तो
काम कुछ नहीं,
तो लोग सट्टा बाजार में सट्टा लगा रहे हैं।
every day doing something like that.
Yeah, it's
Hello.
unbelievable.
Hello, can we start the discussion?
Sure, Sangeeta ji.
Yes.
Good evening to all and a warm welcome to our elite panelists today. So the COVID-19 pandemic is completely unprecedented and a once-in-a-century crisis. It has proved to be an ultimate disruptor and has affected almost all spheres of life, all sectors of the economy. It has altered the process of imparting education too. But every crisis is an opportunity. So this crisis has forced us to reimagine and rethink education. Today, though the transition is going to be complex and challenging, so looking into the chaos and confusion which has been caused, today we have organized this panel discussion with three panelists: Dr. Naresh Chandra, Director, Higher Education, BK Birla College, and former Pro Vice Chancellor of University of Mumbai; Mr. Shailesh Bhakti, Chairman, Shailesh Harbhakti Associate, renowned chartered and cost accountant and finance luminary; Dr. M. Sasikumar, Executive Director, CDAC, his interests being artificial intelligence and educational technologies. Currently, he is teaching a course at IIT Mumbai in educational technologies. Welcome to you all, sir. We are truly honored and privileged to have you amongst us, persons of such eminence, to discuss on a highly pertinent topic, education, a paradigm shift in COVID-19. So to begin with, I briefly introduce Dr. Naresh Chandra. Dr. Naresh Chandra is currently Director of BK Birla College. As Pro Vice Chancellor, University of Mumbai for 2 terms, he played a pivotal role in developing and systemizing the university administration to make it student-centric. He is doctoral guide of botany and several high-grade research in the field are to his credit. Under his leadership, Birla College has received star status and Best College Award. His contributions to the field of higher education are immense. Welcome, sir, and thanks a lot for taking your time off to be on this panel discussion. Sir, my question to you is, higher education in India has always played a role in facing a lot of odds, like we have to educate the masses, and this education has to be done at a highly affordable rate. And while doing that, we have to take care that quality of education is not compromised. With that, this pandemic has created another challenge for us, that now we will have to teach keeping social distancing and using technology. So what is your opinion, sir, with all these complexities, how will we be able to manage imparting quality education to the masses and at an affordable rate?
May I start?
Yes, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Kohli. My other two
Our
esteemed
pleasure, sir.
guests, renowned Shri Shailendra Harbhakti ji and Dr. Sasikumar ji. It's so nice of you, Dr. Kohli, inviting me on this panel discussion. I also place on record my appreciation to the management of Vedanta College, particularly the chairperson, Srimati Suman Didi. Before I say a few words,
Yes.
I would like to, as I understand, there are hundreds of people joining from different states, from all over the world, and I'm thousands of people are attending And so it's very difficult to talk on in a uniform way. Higher education in the country, even today, even when we say that UGC is the highest apex regulating body for academics, then also there are hundreds of universities, thousands of higher education institutions. So the diversity is seen in curriculum, delivering degrees, several new diverse programs. And the pandemic situation today has definitely disrupted the whole higher education system, not only in our country, but the world around. Higher education institutions, the universities abroad, they started almost major part of teaching, learning, evaluation process online. We are in the transitionary phase to adapt the technology. Some of the institutions have already moved forward, and most of other institutions have to come in this line. The University Grant Commission had appointed a committee, and it's very clearly recommended that the next academic year, minimum 25%, almost 25 to 30% of the curriculum is to be taught online on digital platform. And then by another 60, 70% can be offline. Practical, some of the assignments, projects, all that has to go online as well as offline. Blended teaching learning, blending with technology use and face-to-face or our old system, chalk and talk method, both have to be put in the right perspective. I was thinking in my mind while talking to all my students, all those who are listening, particularly the student friends, is a time we have to stay safe, we have to stay motivated, we have to stay strong, and we have to prepare for this new suddenly appearing a great challenge, which has created crisis everywhere. Crisis for finance, industry, institutions. Large number of migrant workers. With reference to our country, I am talking. Education in particular, greatly disrupted. Examinations of the last academic year in UG and PG for first year, second year, already a University Grant Commission, state governments have notified they will be admitted in higher classes. Finally, exam or final semester examination is yet to be. Do we have that? Are we ready to have exam in the month of July? Is yet a question. The number of COVID cases, particularly in some of the states, is rising, is alarming. So we have to be ready with some new alternatives. Challenges, though we have, but as a student, as a young minds, can we convert the challenges into opportunity? Can we utilize this challenge for a better tomorrow? And here, the role of a student of today is very important. The role of a student is very important. At the same time, role of the teacher, role of all the academic, whole academic fraternity, it becomes very important. Is the time teacher has to be a facilitator, more so. It has to be she or he, has to be a mentor, has to be a counselor, in addition to teaching online and on offline mode. We have to learn new technology. And for years, people have been talking that digital platform we should try, but it was very slow. And suddenly, because of this situation, every one of us have moved towards the developing, preparing ourselves for technology more, getting ourselves trained. There are several platforms available today. Everyone, I mean, most of the institution organizing webinar, some teaching lessons online, sessions on personality development, competitive exams, all other issues of interest for students, they are being organized. If you will see, you will find hundreds of webinars every day all over the country at national level or international. Even at BK Birla College, we have been organizing several webinars in this regard at national and international. Vedanta College also is making similar efforts in the direction, and our appreciations for that. May I add, while being stay accepting the challenge, we have to be very positive. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our family, friends, parents, and neighbors, so as to ensure that minimum, as far as possible, minimum suffering should be for all of us. While higher education system will see a change, there is no doubt in the mind of policy makers or everyone today. We all are observing similar situations that without getting some of the education on online mode or on a digital platform will not be an alternative. So the need is training, preparing students to learn on digital platform, teachers to teach on digital platform. And for this also, the curriculum of all the subjects has to be redesigned, redeveloped. Some e-content has to be developed on a very fast rate. UGC has several platforms, MOOC, SWAYAM portal, and we have to be making use of all such situations, all such platforms to a greater extent. No, my dear student friends, no school, no college today is physically working. Everyone is trying to go on digital platform. Physical distancing has become 100% physical distancing. No college, very few person in a college who can nearby staying wherever it is possible, or the areas which are green zone areas or orange zone areas, some physical activity may be there. But definitely I can foresee not before August something like physical teaching, learning, or part practical is feasible. It is not only suffering of one kind because of the migration, because of the movement of the people of very large number. Some places you will see higher enrollment. Some places we may have under enrollment. Some of the even at international level, we are sure, we can foresee the number of students going abroad for higher education may decline now at this time. Indirectly, the international universities, professors abroad may be requested to deliver the lectures online to our students, or having more faculty, student, joint activity between our institutions and institutions abroad. There is a possibility it may increase. I also would like to add, before go little further, that physically we also have to keep ourselves fit. Some physical exercise, some relaxing exercise. It has to come in our curriculum. Up till now, we were talking only value system, etc., up to school level. Now time has come that we must ensure that some of these thoughts, some of these value education modules should be integrated with our higher education system. I may add that we at BK Birla College had decided that all the students of Birla College they will have 2 credit program in digital literacy. The moment they get admission in first year, first thing, it will be part of the curriculum. It is like mandatory, so that in a year's time, 100% literacy program. Today, 7,000 students at BK Birla College have undergone the training program in Microsoft training. And all credit goes to the esteemed management, the chairman, who had seen it possible that all facility provided to us. And it is for this, the managements of all the higher education institutions will have to think this way. Provide all facilities, motivate faculty members, encourage them, encourage students. The students should get under training so that they can learn lecture. They become practically, they can undergo that learning process, evaluation process, assignment, etc. And also at our institution, 100% faculty members have gone through this training so that they can teach, so they can evaluate, they can give assignment. And I'm sure with this, we have to prepare for better tomorrow. The online education, it needs a strategic priority. A student will soon be able to pursue 2 degree programs as per UGC guidelines. One physically and another maybe on distance learning mode, online platform. International mobility may decrease. Technology towards e-content development will be utmost priority. We have to reskill ourselves. That has to move forward. Is very rightly said that learning to unlearn. Yesterday we were talking, Harbhakti ji also was making a reference very strongly that learning to unlearn to create education for the future will be the buzzword, and we have to prepare accordingly. And I'm sure the role of Dr. Sasikumar and the person like him will be very important to create mass awareness, awakening, and several training programs every day so that whole academic fraternity of our country gets trained to deliver, to develop, and to provide best of the higher education in online mode. Though blend is necessary, it can't be possible that 100% online mode can suffice. Eye-to-eye contact, physical face-to-face contact is necessity. Something cannot be taught like some practicals, some exercises, some personal discussions have to be on classroom mode. And with this few notes, of course, artificial intelligence and all that will be the need. I would like to conclude my first initial interaction that the last 3 months which we have been suffering, it may go for more time. We should be ready for that. We should accept this challenge. All my student, young friends should be ready to accept. Now it has to, we have to live with this system for some time and prepare for better tomorrow. Issues of exams, issues of academic calendar is still in our mind and not very clear. Very rightly, Dr. Kohli was making a reference, chaos, confusion may remain, but a better tomorrow is to come. We are very optimistic, and we should remain always optimistic to provide, to ensure. We pray Almighty that everyone, today is a question of globe, all on this global village should get the good health, peace, happy and healthy life. With this initial note, I thank you, Dr. Kohli, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you
so
very
much, sir. Thank you so much. This was really quite insightful. I take you towards Mr. Shailesh Harbhakti, who's also agreed to be with us today. Mr. Shailesh Harbhakti, the chairman of Shailesh Harbhakti Associates, is a renowned chartered and cost accountant, financial planner, and fraud examiner. He is non-executive chairman, key director, and on advisory board of several blue chip companies, NBFCs, and banks. He's been adjudged the best independent director and received the Distinguished Fellowship Award from Institute of Directors. His contribution to the field of finance are large and unmeasurable. Thank you so much, sir, and welcome to the panel. We are really privileged to have you today on the list. Sir, my question to you is, in education, while we try to compete at global level, our rankings don't really seem encouraging. We lose points on the research criteria, which means application aspect of education is not really strong. We have the best of brains, as we see several Indians globally heading top MNCs, yet our education has not created a global mark. What do you believe, sir? Where are we lagging?
Thank you very much, Sangeeta ji. You have opened up the skies for me to imagine and reimagine education and put India at the top rung.
Exactly.
So thank you very
on
much.
The panel for that purpose, sir. I've heard you, and your talks are always so engrossing and engaging. So we chose that kind of an aspect for you.
Well, thank you very much. Let me begin by thanking my fellow panelists with whom I had a very engaging discussion under your coordination yesterday or day before. And I learned a lot from that. But I thought that today I will share with you my reimagined education space for India. And I want to reimagine the K-12 space, the K-12 space, the undergrad space, the master's program space, the PhD space, and the lifelong learning space, which in my mind is perhaps the biggest space which has remained unattended. And because we have not given any attention to lifelong learning, that is why we are lagging in the global rankings. Because we don't see this complete, comprehensive, connected, holistic way of thinking about education. So let's start by first giving up all our assumptions. And I'm going to be very provocative. I'm going to say we don't necessarily need any physical space for education to flourish. What we need is the ability of minds to meet and learn from each other. Let us give up the construct of I'm a teacher, you are a student. I'm at a higher level, you are at a lower level. All this doesn't work. Today, all of us are learners. The most important thing is not to have that information inside your head, which you can spit out, so to speak, in a lecture. What is important is to be able to answer questions. But for learning to happen, the most important thing is to be able to ask the right questions. And that is what we don't encourage. And we don't let our students have more of the time of a lecture. Why should a 45-minute lecture be a one-way street where teacher speaks and 500 students listen and expect to learn? There's no learning. Extremely limited learning. It's only when there is the dialogue and questioning and debate that the learning actually can happen. So you've got rid of physical space, you've got rid of teacher, you've got rid of this whole lecturing mode. So what are you left with? What do you need? What you need is a school of learning and experience, both. Where do I learn the most? I learn the most in open forums, in forums of peers, where people I have respect for come together and respectfully discuss and challenge each other, learn from each other, and create the new normal. The extent to which we have redesigned our mindsets, our physical spaces, our ways of working during this pandemic is unbelievable. Today, security does not mean a sentry standing with a gun protecting a physical space. It has become the cyber world where attacks from millions of people and organizations from all over the world are trying to attack, come into your database, steal your data, steal the communication that you're having with your customers, get you into a position where you can't operate your business. That's what you need to protect against. The whole idea has changed. So the whole emphasis, the whole space of thinking has changed. How do you bring this into this holistic education pattern that I talked about? So let's start building the new constructs of the new world of education, which will put India at the top. The first and most important thing is get rid of all mindsets. Our curriculums in colleges have not been revised for 20 years. It is shocking. Curriculum should be revised almost every day. So I'm saying there should be no fixed curriculum. What is important is to learn what is contextual and important today. And therefore, the whole idea of curriculum being fixed has to go. The whole ideas of subject boundaries has to go. Today, if I don't understand microbiology, and I don't understand accounting, and I don't understand cybersecurity and technology, I simply can't exist. I can't function. And therefore, you can't have the earlier idea that we'll send 10 million students into medicine and we'll send another 10 million students into engineering and we'll make the largest number of engineers who will not have work to do because they don't have the relevant, wide education to deal with life and life's challenges. So the first thing we need to do is to create this ability to continually innovate with the curriculum. And that curriculum needs to be drawn from the new challenges that life is posing before us. It should on the fly change. The second thing we need to change is the idea of having the same peer group for every class for 11 years during K-12. Why? Why should it not be possible for us to mix and match students from all over the world in a virtual world and let peers choose their other peers? Today, technology enables that completely. So my next construct is let peers choose their peer set. Let there be a little bit of freedom in doing that. Let there be a little artificial intelligence, if you like, or machine learning in choosing that. Don't we put children who are particularly blessed into special classrooms? Today, we have been able to manage that. But tomorrow, you could multiplex a student from Sweden with a student from New Zealand, with a student from India in the same class on a virtual platform. And I would say that's something that India is ready to innovate with because we have a very fertile ground of extraordinary minds which can very quickly readjust to any setting. So that's the second thing that I would say India should do. Allow peer set choices to happen in an artificially intelligent, machine learned manner. Moving on, let the ability to learn happen because you have access to live content, live debates, choose the teacher from anywhere in the world who's the best. Give the student the choice that in a particular subject, science, the best teacher in the world is Sangeeta ji Kohli. So get her onto a webinar and let her take 30 minutes in a class. I can tell you today, to get the best people from across the world on one platform, if you have the convening power, has become easier than ever before. Because people don't have any objection to go somewhere and sit in their own home and give a webinar for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever. So convenient. And I could do it in 20 institutions. And I could do it on different subjects. And I can do it with different groups. So you create virtual classrooms. You create a VR environment in which education happens. And then you contextualize it because you are feeding the relevant curriculum through content that you have videographed and which brings the whole thing live to the student or the learner. So if I'm today discussing the COVID pandemic, and if I want to understand what is really happening, I need to have a three-dimensional live picture of that bacteria entering my space through any of my oracles, which will enable it to go. And then what it does, how does it capture? What does it do? What is the fight between antibodies and the bacteria? How does it affect my lungs? How does it stop me from breathing? Now, all of this, if this is graphically known, then you get a far better appreciation, not only of what is happening, but of what you can do to prevent. So then you teach and learn through this entire medium, which is 3D interactive. And you should be able to interact. It's so important to have that interactivity. So you've got virtual reality, you've got experience-based learning, you've got peer set choice, you've got teacher choice. Teachers have forum choices. And you have an education system which will make people fit to accept any challenge. The next pandemic, or the next financial crisis, or the next war, or the next social upheaval will all pose very different challenges. And the purpose of education has to be that you can face those challenges. But the bigger purpose of education has to be able to innovate, to bring out these new ideas, and to be able to bring them into your own context and work with them with comfort, because that's the new way of doing things. What I learned 10 years ago is totally obsolete today. Therefore, I need to be able to learn every minute from whichever source that I can fasten onto, create my own learning space, create my own pace of learning, create my peer group, create my teacher, and make sure that I can interact. And now you think about how you can reverse the whole direction of our poor ranks, because everybody will have rich experiences to share. The amount of research papers that can come out of India. Take the example of China. Although today we have a difficult situation with the country, one must admire the fact that the largest amount of patents in the world are filed by Chinese. Now, we can take that ground easily because of the natural way in which we learn and because of the ability to face challenges and overcome them that we have learned all our lives. We can have the best papers. Some of the best CEOs in the world are Indians. Why? None of them are in India. We are only one person in India who has raised the largest number of resources from the whole world, but we don't have multiple examples of that kind here. But we can easily do that. We have the best teachers in the world. If you take Harvard, Stanford, MIT, the highest ranking teachers are all Indians. And therefore, I can see that if we can let our minds soar and we can remove all the barriers and the mindsets and the old notions that we have, then we could advance at a pace never known before. And what this lockdown has done is it has given all of us a chance to pause our lives, reimagine it, rethink it, and then press the accelerate button. So I want to press that button today in the presence of this wonderful audience of students and teachers and people from all over the world to actually give this message. Take charge of your own education for your entire life. And what the administration, people like you, should be doing is to create the enabling environment to enable students to choose their peers, to choose teachers, to choose forums, to choose curriculum, to make sure that curriculum arises because you are capturing it and then make it available at a democratized cost. Education should never be costly. It should be widely available. It should never be costly. It should never be unaffordable. I hate to think of a child who cannot go to have the best education because it's expensive. It's totally saddening to me. And so if you can do this, you can have the India, which will be at the pinnacle of great education, because we would have learned to live life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. This was really priceless. Your words always are really very valuable, and you speak across the diaspora. You're really, whenever I've heard you, it's been so insightful that you don't only touch to that topic, you go through several things and then come back so smoothly and flawlessly. It's really, thank you so much, sir. It was pleasure listening to you. We are so happy we have Dr. Sasikumar with us, and he is, I would like to introduce him to you. Dr. Sasikumar is, Dr. Sasikumar is Executive Director, CDAC. Three premier educational institutes of India today can boast of Dr. Sasikumar as their alumnus. He's a BTech from IIT Chennai, postgraduate from IISc Bangalore, and PhD from BITS Pilani. Currently, he is also adjunct professor in educational technology and guides doctoral students at IIT Mumbai. His interest areas are artificial intelligence and educational technology. He has published and initiated several projects in the field. He is amongst the most sought member on several bodies and boards, a mind-boggling profile, sir. Thank you so much and welcome to the panel today. Sir, my question to you is, you're doing a commendable job in training teachers on use of technology. Embedding technology into education was picking up, but the pandemic has made it inevitable. We are a resource-crunched nation. The gap between the affluent and less privileged students is large. Do you think we will be able to seamlessly integrate technology-based teaching?
Shall I start?
Yes, sir, please.
So thank you, Dr. Sangeeta, for this effort and this opportunity. And wonderful to meet both of them. We've heard a lot about them, but meeting them first time, and that too online. And secondly, we are just landing straight down to earth from a beautiful world that was painted in the last few minutes. But anyway, while we are on the way to go there, we will look at what are some of the challenges on the ground right now, and from a technology point of view. Along the way, I'll also, I think, answer the question of inclusivity, and that's obviously a big concern for all of us in the country today. So it's a painful time that we are all passing through, and but like all times, this will also pass. But however, these few months, I think when people, they say that idle mind is a devil's workshop, but in the devil's workshop, lots of wonderful things are happening, and so we should be happy that. So it's driving a lot of changes and innovations in almost all walks of life. And Sangeeta also mentioned many of these. So while telemedicine technologies have been around for many years, suddenly, everybody is talking about telemedicine. E-learning, I think my group and I have been talking about e-learning for last 20 years. Nobody listened, or everybody listened and say, ha, very good idea, and then goes back to sleep. But now everybody is talking about e-learning. So yes, lots of wonderful things are happening. And also, hopefully, it will also teach us to respect nature, at least going forward. So in all these challenges, the new world order and whatever the nomenclature is, technology is seen as one of the major contributors to defining the way forward. So on that space, there are obviously lots of discussions, lots of things are happening. And I think as both the previous panelists mentioned, everybody is talking about webinars and online teaching. I think possibly people who have never stood in front of a camera in their life are all giving wonderful seminars and webinars and enlightening everybody. It's good. It is good. I think, as I said, this is something that's in need of the hour, and we are happy that people are growing into it.
Yes.
So, in my view, so I'm going to just talk about a few points, and maybe we'll elaborate on them as per the questions or later. So, first of all, to me, technology is a teacher amplifier. So, I don't look at a world without teachers, and I don't think that's what we want to. That's how we want to face education. Although I think the world that was painted, somewhere there is a teacherless world there, but I'm sure even behind that teacherless world, there will be teachers there who are fabricating that. So I look at technology to be teacher amplifiers. If you are able to do this much without technology, now you can do this much with just that much effort. So you reach wider audience, you reach deeper, you are able to influence a lot more deeper, and so on. There are a lot of ways in which that amplification can happen. So our education so far has been rooted in classroom environment. We can't think of any other way of doing education at the moment. So from the time you are from kindergarten to higher education, the primary activity is to go to the class, sit down, listen to the teachers doing lectures, tutorials, and so on. And so from start to end, that's what we are used to. So obviously shifting to something that is online or something that is the kind of world that is coming up is going to be difficult, and it's going to take time. However, the fact that the new generation is going to be mostly digital natives. My daughter can operate machines, and she finds mobile phones is so simple to use. And for us, it has taken a lifetime to get to that level of comfort. Of course, those of us who are in the IT space, obviously, it has become part of our life long back, and there is a level of comfort. But I'm sure many teachers will find that challenge still serious. So the fact that I think that the students are digitally aware, digitally comfortable is a big relief, because at least they are very much on the ground. And as Dr. Sangeeta said, we have been trying to do a lot of teacher training about a lot of technologies to help them come on to this ground as smoothly as possible. And the feedback has been very good, because we've been exposing a lot of interesting tools to them, and many of them do like it and they want it useful. So there are plenty of great tools to create content that is available today. So you have, so 20 years back when we were talking about e-learning, to get a video recording was a tremendous effort. You to get a cameraman, you need a high-end camera. People were charging, to the tune of 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs for a 1 hour lecture video, because that's how it was seen. So today, I think I can see one of you are keeping a phone in front and talking, and you are being recorded, and it's going to be made available to people. It's as simple as that, right? So videos, images, drawing, animations, timelines, augmented reality, virtual reality, they are all possible today for a teacher to lay their hands on and to create content in that area. So my advice is, yes, explore these and build them into your teaching life. Not only because of this current pandemic situation and the related issues, they actually enhance the teaching learning process anyway. And that's what we have been saying. So we are not saying completely switch at that time, but of course today maybe a switch is required. But there is a lot that these tools and technologies can add to make your teaching learning process much more effective and much less painful for you. But tools do not create content. They facilitate creation of content. So again, the teacher role is very, very, very important role. So the good content comes from teachers who can visualize and understand the teaching learning process. So they know what is the best way to reach their audience, and the audience is a function of the space and the geographic space, the time, and so on. So identifying what is the best way to explain a content to reach that audience is something that is very important. So once you get that, then you have the tools available which says, okay, now how do I position the content in such a way? There are a lot of great tools available in open source, and I'm a very strong open source fan. So I would advise those who are looking at building content, there are plenty of them, and our courses actually list out a huge amount of this. I mean, I won't go through that kind of a listing here. These are free to use. You can share the content that you create with those tools. You can share the tools also. You can modify the tools and adapt it to your requirement. So it's almost like they are yours, and they are available free for use and download. So they also do not cost money. So it no longer is money a constraint that, if I don't have money, then how can I create content? How can I do things? Okay. So almost all kinds of content in very good quality you can build using this kind of tools. So maybe every teacher should look at and say, I will learn one tool every week, at least for the next 2 months. And then we would have a lot of expertise and the comfort level in this country to take up this challenge head on. There are lots of tutorials online, video and text. So that's another resource you can use if you need help. And there is IIT Bombay doing the spoken tutorials. They also bring out a lot of very easy to understand the ways of using these tools in building applications and their content. There is also a big community across the world who believe that educational content should be freely available. That is the OER movement, that Open Education Resources movement. That is almost every main university in the world has an OER section. A lot of material that they have created, which are actually being used in their classrooms or in their classes, are available to you free for download and use. And so that's actually a phenomenal resource base that you can count on. It is not necessary that for any course that you want to do, you need to create the content yourself. There is plenty of work people have already done. So search for good quality content and benefit from it. These are also legally free to use. You don't need to take anybody's license. The license says that this is Creative Commons share alike license, so which means you are free to use it. Modification may be restricted, but that is something that you possibly may not need all the time. And India has been always very good in picking up things from whatever the world has done, but we always feel very, very reluctant when contributing the content back to the community. OER is a world effort. It is not about a developing country or whatever. So if you have good content which you are creating for your students, please share it with the OER community. Let the world see what we are able to do. It also make your institution famous, because that's how MIT works. So when MIT they put up their content online, everybody was like shocked, saying, "What will do now? Who will go to MIT?" Their numbers have only become better. Their reputation has only become better because that content illustrates the kind of teachers that they have. So that's a way to look at this kind of content creation and contributing to the world. I think both the speakers have mentioned about AI. Yes, AI is already on the job to significantly value add education, personalization of education, adaptive instructional delivery, intelligent and timely feedback, more efficient progress tracking, collaboration, learning analytics. These are some of the exciting things that AI is bringing to the table. These are feasible with the online kind of technologies because there's a lot of data being available. So when you are interacting with a computer through a computer with your content, there is a lot of records that are being maintained as to what you are doing, where your eyes are, how much time you are spending on a page, and things like that. They are useful. They are useful to tell you which are the difficult areas, which are areas where you need attention and things like that. Okay. There is a lot that obviously AI can help in improving the quality of education in this kind of environment. Particularly because once the classroom environment goes, collaboration becomes difficult for most of the educational environment. And these are tools which can actually help you build up some of that. But I'm not, I've been working on AI for 30 years, but I don't want to go and say that AI will go to solve all your problems. It won't. There is a lot more that is going to go into it. And we need to position AI and make use of AI in the best way that is in the interest of quality of education. Because AI can also do a lot of stupid things. Because today's AI, for example, is heavily data-driven. The quality of data influences the kind of outputs that you're going to get. So it is always better to be a little cautious about using these kind of technologies. But that's not to say that these technologies are dangerous or cannot be used. It's phenomenally wonderful. There is a lot that's happening, and we expect a lot more to happen. Yeah, and also a lot of technologies like ebook readers. Because one of the challenges that everybody is complaining about is small students staring at a computer screen for a long time. Is that good for them mentally and physically? These are things I think technology will address in course of time. There was some attempt at some point to create ebook readers which are little easier on the eye. So there is so much that is currently happening. People are all excited about contributing to this changing world order, and there will be more things that is coming in. So let's look at the days ahead positively. It is a challenging time, maybe for a few months more at least. But I'm sure we all will emerge stronger and better, a lot of people. And maybe we can even set examples to the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, we have the potential. Shailesh sir will also agree. We have great potential, and we can become examples to the other countries at a global level. Sir, we have received a lot of questions all over the country and from some questions also globally. We have selected just a few due to constraint of time. So we have received more than 350 questions. We have selected 3 for each speaker. So I'm not sure about Naresh and sir. So can we start with questions for you, Shailesh sir? Sir, your audio is off.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So the first question is from Sabiha Tabassum. She is studying at Indian Learners Own Academy at Kuwait, UAE. And her question is, what should be changed in the present system to effectively impart application-based learning?
3 things need to change. You need to make resources available to enable that kind of learning. So I think a lot of these resources are now open source, as was mentioned during the discussion. What you need to do is to be able to bring it to your premise or to your device or to your learning environment. And I never de-emphasize the role of a teacher. It is the functionality of being in the path of accountability at all times and being able to answer questions and learn through that questioning, which will create that platform. And I'm sure that in Kuwait, which is a fairly well-resourced country in terms of per capita income being so high, to bring all of this together through technology, through a little bit of organized effort, should be possible. Get the best content on every subject from wherever in the world it is, and get clips from the best teachers from wherever they are in the world, and make that whole experience come alive wherever you are.
The second question is from Professor Baswaraj Vanaki. He is from GES College of Education, Gokara. I'm sorry for the pronunciations. And the place of his institution is Gokar. Sir, he is asking why we are grappling to educate everybody. Do you think we can look beyond conceptual teaching and implement application-based teaching effectively? Currently, we
Absolutely.
are in a situation where we are not even able to educate everybody.
No, it's so important. So I'll give you the whole action points. Let the top 100 IT companies of the world take a vow that wherever they can find a working device, they will pull it in, repurpose it, and distribute it to every student of the world. Everybody. Nobody left out. We cannot leave anybody out of the education phase. And empower this device with only two things: connect to the internet and connect to streaming content. The whole idea of static content is over. That era is gone. Nobody wants to read text anymore. Everybody is in an instant world. Everybody wants to see video. I cannot operate my cell phone without having these earplugs in my ear, because almost every WhatsApp has got some video content in it, some interactive content. Third, make it interactive so that you can question and have your questions answered. You can't always do a Google search. You need to have streaming and interactivity in order to make application-based learning at population scale. So get a device into everybody's hand, make internet available, make sure that it's content embedded, and let that content be streaming and let it be interactive. And then you got an answer to the whole world's education.
Exceptional solution, sir. That's an exceptional solution. Dr. Vijay Kumar Bikswing Pawar. He's from PIS Parbhani, Jintur district Parbhani. He says that application-based teaching will vary from teacher to teacher. Don't you think it will have an impact on the overall outcome of education?
Absolutely. And therefore, the teachers should get ready to be evaluated. Just as every trip that you do by Uber is evaluated by the customer, let every class evaluate the 45 minutes that they've spent with a teacher, or the 15 minutes they've spent with the teacher. Let the teacher know that he or she needs to transform himself or herself. This is so important. At the end of every meeting, I would like to have feedback, because I want to improve. If I've slipped up, then I need to know how to get back on purpose. The biggest problem today is that teachers do not want to get feedback and do not wish to change. The question itself tells you the answer, right? I mean, if the teacher is keen to improve, then get feedback from your students. They're your customers. Doesn't every business get feedback from a customer? So go do that. Don't do any class ever in your life from today where you do not get an evaluation from your student. Because then you don't know whether you're effective or not, and whether you've delivered the teaching. So change that mindset.
Perfect, sir. That's really great. Sasikumar, sir, we go to your questions. So we have a question from Shubham Sinha. He's from SBDAV Public School, Vasant Vihar, New Delhi, Ghaziabad. So he asks, in language subjects, how can we effectively use technology to make students write more, as practice helps better learning of languages?
Okay, I don't know what write more. I don't know whether that is the solution to things and what that can technology do. But there are a lot of language learning tools also that is becoming available, and we ourselves have created some labs for learning English. I mean, we can extend it for other languages also. So these are basically one challenge of the lack of writing is not enough confidence or not familiar with the grammar. So one element is to address whether you are, are you using the grammatical constructs correctly, your tense formation is correct, your choice of words is correct, and things like that. These are areas where which is certainly technology can help even today. Then the other part is the speaking, writing, listening component. So where there are possibility of using speech technologies to some extent. It's not yet that popular because good quality speech recognition for Indian languages, Indian accent, and for particularly for children is still not that easily available, not that rich. So, but I think that's something that you can expect is going to happen with the time, particularly with this kind of requirement. There are good automatic writing quality assessing systems, particularly based on AI-related technologies. People have tried, for example, coherence checking, continuity, and more of some kind of a generic content checking and things like that. Systems which can understand the text and evaluate is still a little further away because I think we still not yet to see that kind of things yet. But a lot of support, as I said, from the language point of view, are doable. Some of them are available kind of offline, but maybe on a larger scale, we will need to see how to integrate them into the curriculum and can benefit a lot from there. And many times, at least from my personal experience, I find that it's not even important that you get a very detailed feedback on the writing, but you write. So in opportunities like that, maybe or even online or offline, like blogs, asking students to write blogs, creating, essays, etc. It can be done on your notebook. It can be done on the machine, whichever way. Just the habit of writing, thinking about topics and writing itself is a good mechanism to build up your writing capability. I mean, you don't learn to write; you write is the way to learn to improve the writing.
So the second question is from Robert Matthew. He's from Kuvenpu University, Shivamoga. He's asking, will it be possible for us in India to extend the benefit of this seamless online teaching to all students without any discrimination on the basis of private and public schools, poor and rich, rural and urban?
See, technology is not the constraint in achieving this. The question is, for example, if there is a network requirement, who will foot the bill? Where, what kind of connectivity device? I think he was talking about. One of the challenges that we are facing is there are lots of our students who are in rural areas where there is poor network connectivity. Everybody doesn't own a smartphone or a laptop. So how do they get to access content? So these are areas we want to look at some seriously innovative solutions. We can do audio extraction from videos and deliver to them with maybe the slides and other material being sent separately. But these are short-term adapting solutions. We need to look at how to reach these technological benefits to them. But other than that, I don't think there is anything which says that these technologies cannot be used by anybody. And one reason why I was also mentioning about open source, because software cost and quality need not become a concern at all. The hardware obviously is something that has to be invested, but there are governments are trying to give away laptops and other resources. With the NKN and that kind of thing, there is a good connectivity reaching up to the district level. And if all these things gets into practice, I think we would have sorted out a lot of those issues.
Yeah, like you said that, so your answer and Shailesh sir's answer here together can bring about a solution. Like you said, that there are open source software. The problem is that people are not aware about that software. So if those software, so if that sourcing is done of creating awareness, and like Shailesh sir said, that some IT companies take up the responsibility of giving devices to such less privileged sections of society. These two aspects combined together definitely can create a solution for the question asked by Robert Matthew.
There are
So
also these common service centers, for example, which is there across everywhere. So maybe they can grow up to provide some support. Even things like post offices, which are everywhere spread out, they can also be content disseminators. If not place for use of content, people can pick it up and learn. So the libraries can possibly change into a different avatar where these as I was also saying, streamed content can be made available. So there are so many things.
Brilliant ideas. I think that's something that I endorse so much. What a fantastic idea. You just reimagine all physical spaces as learning spaces.
Absolutely.
And go to the place nearest to you, most accessible. You don't necessarily need to go to a school 20 miles away from you. It makes no sense in today's world.
They are talking about near home work. I mean,
work from
near
home. And work near home.
Not from home, not in office, but work near office. So you have
I give
these
workspace. I gave the example to a restaurant chain that think of the table in everybody's home as your table. So you leverage their asset. It's the same as Uber, same as Airbnb. You just need to reimagine and rethink. I love your idea of library. I love your idea of post office. They're all doing nothing.
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant. Please propagate this. Brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, we should have multiple content disseminating sources. And like you said, so many places which are not being used effectively, and they are close to the contact of the rural or the less privileged persons. So they can definitely become content disseminating places. So that can be a big solution. So, sir, Dr. Saurabh Tiwari, he is working at Government Arts, Commerce and Science College, Suktawa District, Hossanabad, MP. He asked that in metro cities, we have full network strength, but in rural area, even now network isn't available. If internet facility isn't present and technology is not available to the grassroots level, how can we motivate online education in such areas?
I think we already answered that in the previous question. So I don't think you a lot. Yeah.
Can I, with your permission, can I
talk
about the 7 Ds of exponential technologies? And if you create that framework for yourself, you can master anything. So the first is you got to digitalize. Everything that's physical, you need to be able to express digitally. So then you can change it, maneuver it, interact with it, move it, and all of that. Then you disrupt. So you reimagine, you change everything. Then you become deceptive. So you wait till everything becomes available, like internet becomes available to the furthest part of India. Then you demonetize. So just drop all the monetary values associated with it. Think in terms of exchange, think in terms of leveraging assets, got what you talked about. Libraries are built. You don't need more money. It's already there. You just leverage. So demonetize. Then what you do is delocalize. So forget about where you are. Everything can happen from wherever you are. So complete delocalization. Then dematerialization. You don't need materials. You don't need chalk. You don't need blackboard. You don't need anything. You just need the ability to work with a seamless way through the devices. And finally, democratize. Do it at absolute scale, at lowest cost, affordable to everybody. And you will see that technology will start seeping in everywhere. Today, we've just created wrong cost barriers and nothing is allowed to actually happen. So if you follow these 7 Ds, you can have technology actually taking charge. And we are on the cusp of doing this in India, because we are the best at doing all these 7 things.
Exactly. Brilliant. That is brilliant, sir. 7 Ds. So yeah, they
Right.
they can become your strategy formulation part of big factors, 7 Ds. Sasikumar sir. So Naresh Chandra sir, are you able to hear us?
Yes, yes,
Sir, so I'm putting the questions posed to you.
yes.
We have Ilyas Bashir Bhatt. He's from Government Degree College, Vijbera, Anantnag. And he's asking, according to you, just a minute, sir. According to you, in the change scenario, how will the role of teacher change to be able to impart quality education of global level?
It will be, because from any university, from foreign countries, can deliver lecture online here. So we can have sessions. Professor Harbhakti very rightly said, the student of America, a student of American University, Australian University, for UK University and Indian, all can be at one place. Today you have from all over the country. Tomorrow when you will enroll, you may have people, student or participant attending from all over the world. So it will happen definitely. That is point one. And second, I could not mention about that affordability in fee structure you did ask in the beginning. I wanted to say that Indian higher education system even today is highly subsidized. Even if self-financing courses are there, they are also at lower cost. That is my perception. But then also, there can be two. One is who can afford, who cannot afford. Those who can afford, our belief is they must pay.
Correct.
Those who cannot afford, they should go for either a scholarship, partial freeship, some concession, bank loans, etc., etc. But with commitment, with conditions. And that is my suggestion.
Absolutely.
Hello?
Great.
Yes, sir.
Haji.
Can I go to the second question, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So this is Ejaz ur Rasul. He's from Bo Ajmer, Jammu. What is your opinion about the present status of Indian education?
It has to become more internationalized. It has to become more flexible. And Shri Harbhakti ji also answered this thing, that higher education system has to be such, what a student need, that should be provided. There cannot be a rigidity of revising the curriculum after 3 years or 2 years. Some of the programs in IT sector, management sector, finance sector, they have to be if not every day, every 3 months. This COVID pandemic situation, it should become part of curriculum in most of the subjects. How to overcome, how to stay safe, all these things. So curriculum is locally relevant, it is globally competent, and it also provides you opportunity to learn more skills. There is no barrier of arts faculty, science faculty, commerce faculty. And UGC has already come out with, you can have one program in science, another program online or distant learning mode, in commerce, arts, in any of the fact. So there has to be some sort of an approach where more flexibility, what the student needs, that should be provided. Know that very interdisciplinary approach on a larger scale has to be followed. Internationalization has to be taken. I would please ask another point here.
Third question is from Jayashree Prasad. She is from Sikkim University, Gangtok. Do you believe technology can deliver quality education, and how impactful will it be?
There can be a lot of discussion on technology advancement that should be adapted, how much it will deliver. But I, for one, believe in present situation, it has to be accepted on a larger platform, larger canvas. Online, see, we can't do admission today. So online admission is the only way. We cannot conduct examination, assignment, internal tests, etc. It has to be, some
Online.
way has to be brought online. So digital platform is to be used. Curriculum is to be redesigned and redeveloped. ICT enabled service training has to be provided to students to learn and faculty members to teach. And then only we can reach to the point. I'm sure this is the last question Dr. Kohli is asking. So I will try to connect with my last point.
So there's one more, if you would allow.
Please
There's
tell.
one more question for you. So Miss Kavita, she's from Bansi Shankargarh, Prayagraj, UP. Is there any parameter to define quality education clearly? And how can it be imparted to poor students from remote areas?
There is no question of remote area or urban area or metro area. A student is a student wherever he is on the globe. And quality is never a destination. Quality is a continuous process, it's a journey. What I'm doing today, I should do something more tomorrow. What I am learning today, I tell you, I was not very comfortable on these tools.
Yes.
But today, I can connect myself on Microsoft Teams. I can arrange team meetings. So it's like you have to learn, and again, repeat that first sentence, relearning is necessary. No one is old and no one is young. Learning, lifelong learning is the need of the hour. Whether is a school child or is the older generation person, all will have to. I wanted to conclude with the point that transformation in higher education system is inevitable now. We have to move with a positive mind, with a mindset to accept this as a challenge to be converted into an opportunity.
Brilliant.
Impact we have to create as an Indian higher education system, an international scenario. That ranking was a question that at times what we are doing is definitely better, and through value education system, through some of our interdisciplinary approaches, internalization of the systems, we can definitely take it forward and create a great academic impact in higher education system through these. Because we have been, though we say we are humble, but time has come. We must come out with a force, greater force. And very rightly said by, I think, Shri Harbhakti ji, as well as Dr. Vijay ji, that only way today is we have to change to accept the challenge and ready to adapt the new methods, modifications, joining hands. No more one college or other college. Many colleges can join hands. You are delivering, you are organizing a program, I am talking. I can organize a program, students of all over the country attending. So these sessions, it will create entirely different environment, classrooms, a physical space, etc. For some part, it will become no existence. It will be together. Yeah, day before yesterday, my PhD guide was talking, and he was saying, it is not only pragati, it is with Sahayog pragati is to be achieved. With cooperation, collaborative approach, joint activity, sharing best practices, we can achieve. And our best wishes to all the students, faculty members, colleagues, invited guests attending this session. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to interact with you all. I hope it has served some purpose. Thank you.
Shailesh sir, would you like to give your concluding views?
Sure. I endorse everything that was said just 5 minutes ago. I would only like to add, get excited about education. Let every one of us realize that if we do not educate every young person, and if we do not get into a lifelong learning mode, we simply cannot get past. The time to wait is over. The time for action and implementation is now. And I would follow fully everything that Mr. Chandra said. Brilliantly said, so beautifully said.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we've lost contact with Sasikumar, sir. So this was such an enriching session. So much to know from the three panelists, each one giving us a completely different view about what needs to be done in the education field so that it becomes impactful, it becomes seamless, it becomes borderless, boundaryless. And so Naresh Chandra sir said that how we need to have motivated students and teachers so that we can impart the education across institutions, and the education should have the required quality through revisions of syllabuses happening often. Shailesh Harbhakti touched very well into how we need to construct different systems so that we make the complete area of education borderless, boundaryless. The student, all global student is there on the platform. He decides which student he wants to learn with. He decides which teacher he wants to learn from. The teacher is able to decide which student he or she wants to pick up. Education should, and the content should be very, very contextual so that the next crisis when we come up with, we are totally prepared because we've been learning such contextual kind of knowledge we've been gaining. And Sasikumar sir told us about the new technologies, though we are not so aware about the lot of technical language which he spoke about. But the best thing what he told is that there is no issue about technological dissemination being expensive, because a lot of open source software available which can be freely made available to people wherever. And he also spoke about lots of public places which can become disseminating centers, and so the student can go to the place as close as possible and gain the knowledge which globally. He also spoke about OER, which has become a very popular medium of exchanging global content. So I'm sure the participants are going to go back highly enriched and enlightened with a lot of information which they couldn't have simply got from one single source. So this panel discussion has been really very fruitful. I again take this opportunity to thank three eminent panelists of ours today who have taken time off and been with the student just because of their commitment to social welfare, society well-being, and student benefit. So thank you so much, Naresh Chandra sir. Thank you so much, Shailesh Harbhakti ji, and thank you so much, Dr. Sasikumar. We look forward to your association. We will want to have another discussion on the same line so that we have a series of it. I'm sure we will be bombarded with a lot of questions and feedback, which we will send back to you so that we can have continued kind of interaction with the fraternity.
Thank you.
Thank
you
so
very
much,
much.
sir.
All
Thank
our
you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great to meet you.